Hey everybody, this is Ginger, and this is Ginger's chat show, and I hope everybody is well. I'm gonna move my keyboard here. I'm sorry, I'm fighting allergies. I hope all is well. Hey Dorothy, how are things in Florida? I hope better. Hey Nancy, how are things going in Wisconsin? Okay. Anyway, it's Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. And Ginger's Chat Show. And today is Hump Day, Maga Rests, and Stupid Antics by the Magas. You know, by those guys. Anyway, the Magas started surrendering today. Some of them started surrendering today, and some may surrender tomorrow. Okay. Well, up here it is, let's see what's weather up here. 69 degrees, and it did rain this morning, which we kind of badly needed. It did rain. Air smells fresher too, by the way. So it's not really not too bad. It's really kind of comfortable. Anyway, as far as the Maga rats, as I call them, goes, some are surrendering today, some are surrendering tomorrow. Those have been indicted in the Georgia election fraud scheme. And, of course, Trump is supposed to surrender tomorrow. Some are going into jail, directly to jail, and some have bonds posted. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now, Trump, there was an arrangement of $200,000 bond on Trump, and everything else, but we'll see how that goes too, because he has to prove why he should not be put in jail. And both the sheriff and Fannie Willis, they're going to be treated just like anybody else who committed these type of crimes. So we will see. But Trump did violate his terms and conditions in the D.C. case on that. And Fannie Willis warned him of that. Of course, would he listen? No. So he may find himself, his bail being revoked, and I hope it is, and he'll be put in the pokey. The guy doesn't know when to shut up. Okay, that's part of his narcissistic attitude, and he says every time he says something or does something on the media, and the thing when he's not supposed to talk anything about it, he digs such a deeper hole that he digs himself clear to Russia. And at one time he talked about jumping on a plane and going to Russia and staying there. Well, I don't think he should be allowed to go. He should deserve justice here. He should not be allowed to run. Like any other criminal, he should not be allowed to run. So, we'll see how that goes. Chiellini, of course, he's somewhat smarter than the bunch. He did not try to pull any of these antics like Trump was doing. He's trying to do the bail bond and everything, and he might find himself sitting in jail. So we don't know what's going to happen there. They said they did mug shots and everything, everybody, or those that have been indicted. And of course, he's not. He's keeping quiet, pretty much quiet about the case. Okay. So as far as the arraignments go, we'll see how that goes on the arraignments. Um, Now Mark Meadows. Now that's the guy that's really running scared, and he's trying to get out of the arrest thing and everything else. He should know better. Mark Meadows should really know better, okay, on this. And he served in Congress, he served in the Senate, and everything else. He should know the laws. He should know, what the penalties are for um, violating those laws. He needs to man up, take his punishment, and roll with it. But like Trump, he tried to wiggle out of it, and it's not going to work. He's already been denied a number of times because they tried doing motion to drop the case and everything else. That's been denied. Okay. So again, we will see. Now at tonight, I don't know if any of you are going to watch it. Is the GOP presidential thing? There's going to be 9 people on there. Some have some government experience, some don't. The only ones really have true government experience and how things work on a smaller scale, not the big federal scale, but on a smaller scale, like the state level, is Chris Christie. He knows how everything works, okay? Also, he was a former prosecutor. Chris Christie was, for the state of New Jersey. So, he's gonna be there. Okay, he's qualified for there. Several other unknown candidates there I never heard of. Some of them are either imitating or pseudo followers of Trump. Okay, imitating his tactics. Well, they're gonna find out that's not gonna work either. I think they should be happy that Trump is not there at all, okay, to bully and badger, say not very nice things and everything. So I'm so glad he's not there at all. And frankly, I think the GOP should just boot Trump out of the party altogether. Just give him the boot and say, hey, you've been indicted 4 times, you've been arrested 4 times, you don't belong there. That's what they should do. But knowing them, I don't know what they're afraid of with him, unless he has something on them blackmail wise, which I kind of suspect on that too. I don't know if you guys do. They're afraid of something. They're scared of something. So I don't know what's what, but they'll find out. Hey T, how's it going? Glad that you dropped in. Great seeing you. So anyway, the debates will be aired on either CNN and C-SPAN, I believe, but I'm not sure. But check your schedule. Check your television schedule, streaming or television schedule for that. Starts 8 Central because it's being held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, I know, Nancy, it's almost close neck of your neck of the woods. 8 Central, 9 Eastern, and 6 Pacific, which is 6 o'clock my time here. So, and of course, 7 Mountain. Those that live in Montana and the other mountain states in Colorado. So anyway, the GOP, they really need to get rid of Trump altogether if they want to survive. And or build a whole new party, but this time with common sense and working to help each other. That's what they need to do. I know there's some in there that won't, and that's the Megas, or Magas, or who you would call them. I call them Mega Rats. So, um, I don't like them. I don't like their platform or their ideas, and I'm going like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. And even this one, I think his first name is Swami or whatever his name is, he suggested raising the voting age to 25. Well, I'm sorry, it's at 18, and voting age is at 18, and should keep it that way. It used to be, uh, when I was growing up in the 1960s, you had to be 21 to vote. Uh, 21 years old to vote. And when I was turned 18 in 1975, well, actually I was 19. Actually, I voted at 18 in 1974. But when I turned 18, when they passed that law, the following year, the presidential year, I voted for the first time. And I voted ever since. Voting is a civic duty that all of us must embrace. Okay? We vote on everything, big, small, little, in between. Okay? And because, you know, those that don't vote and those that ignore the political system and everything else, and then they turn around, sit there and complain. I go, if you don't vote, you can't complain. So, guys, start voting, start registering, and vote. Won't hurt to do it. Put your voice out there, and it does work when you put your voice out there. Sure, voting is all about numbers, okay? In any election, it's about numbers and how people feel about certain subjects, how people feel certain about their candidates, and feel that their candidates would fit their own personal agendas of I'm going to do something here before I forget. There we go. What fits them personally. But you have to look at what their ideas or their platforms are on any given subject. Okay? Like social programs, like helping others, or how to go about solving problems. I'm sorry. Go about solving problems, okay? And if some of the problems they try to solve is like been tried before, it hasn't worked, or it's never been tried, then they need something else. Okay? Now, tonight on the debate, I'm looking for if the candidates really listen to the questions and try to stay on topic regarding those questions. Now, there's some candidates that don't. They expound off on everything else, but not really listening to the question. And of course, you know, he who shall not be named is like that. You give him a question, he doesn't really hear the question. He doesn't listen to it, okay? He's expounding on the old stupid thing, oh, my election is stolen and everything else. I go, well, no, it's not stolen. It was a proper election. You lost. So that's why I'm going to watch a little bit of the debate tonight and see what they come up with, okay? Just out of curiosity. Don't worry, I'm not going to vote Republican. That's not going to happen. I always vote Democrat, but I just want to see what the other side is saying a little bit. Now, you know, some of these candidates are not MAGA rats. Not all GOP are MAGA rats. It's the radical, super radical right. They're like that, and you're like Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of the others, and the so-called Freedom Caucus. And speaking of which, the Freedom Caucus threatened to shut down the government because they can't get what they want regarding the if Trump is thrown in jail. Sorry, they're our jurisdiction. They don't have a say in what happens on the DOJ, Department of Justice level. Because if they did, they'd be doing just obstruction of justice themselves. Okay, and the so-called Freedom Caucus needs to be rounded up and thrown in jail themselves, because I bet you pretty much those are the same guys that conducted those tours prior to January 6th. And they're not supposed to conduct tours around the campus. That was because we were still getting over the throes of COVID. Okay? So, I think sooner or later something's going to happen on that. And there's been some talk saying, well, they're not going to, many of them are not going to be coming back next year. And I hope so. Let's see, what else? Oh, speaking of which, history was made today. You remember, I don't know if any of you watched this, but the Chandra project by India, the nation of India, they landed their lander successfully on the moon today. She landed just perfectly, and they were very, very happy. So India is another country that has landed on the moon. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, Luna 25, which is the Russian lander, that crashed. So I don't know how badly it crashed or anything, but Chandra is there, and it's already, they're already getting pictures and finding out stuff and everything else, because it sounds like India in the future may be establishing a moon base there. I don't know what their plans are or anything, but I'm really happy for the nation of India that they achieved something like that. They were really happy, really thrilled about it. So congratulations, India. You guys did really good, because they triple checked everything when they built this, and to make sure everything is worked properly. They simulated it, they worked it. There was something slightly wrong, they would go back to the drawing board and fix it, and then re-implement it again, and then, you know, that's how things are done in space exploration. It's constant tinkering. That's what they're doing. Now the Russian Progress 85 rocket launched last night, and it'll be here tomorrow. Be at the International Space Station tomorrow. That's a resupply mission, and a good majority of those supplies go to the Russian cosmonauts up there. So I don't know if Russia's going to still build their own space station or not. Now I know there's going to be 3 new space stations going up in 2030, which is 5 years from now, because sooner or later the International Space Station will be retired, unless they decide to keep the old girl going. So far, they have not had any major problems with it, because they kept it up. They kept maintaining it and kept it in shape and everything else. So, I don't know. There was talk of retiring it. That space station's been up for, let's see, she was implemented in 2000, so it is, let's see, let me check my math. Let me try again. Okay, she's been in service for 23 years. And that's pretty good for a space station for lasting that long. I don't know if you guys remember Skylab, 1970 Skylab, prior to the International Space Station. Skylab had some issues, but Now that they learned from that, that's when they decided to get together, both Canada and the U.S. and the European Space Agency decided to get together and build the International Space Station. China was not really interested in it, and for whatever reason, and Russia said, okay, we'll do it. Later on, Russia started participating in the International Space Station because they didn't have the money to build their own. Of course, now I don't know if they have the money to build their own now because of Putin's idiotic actions. And also along that line, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but the Wagner Group leader, general there, his plane was fell out of the sky. His plane crashed. How that happened, I have a pretty good idea. I think Putin may have sent a missile that plane's way. Knowing Putin, when he gets scared of somebody who has more power and experience than he does, and he just tries to remove them. Well, sooner or later, it's not going to sooner or later, something's going to bite Putin. It already has, because right now he has a arrest warrant from The Hague World Court for crimes against humanity. And if he steps one little tiki toe out of Russia, he can find himself in handcuffs and put in jail and await trial. Okay? So, that's why he's staying close to home. We'll just have to wait and see all what happens and everything. So, oh, okay. Now another thing before I close down. I've been working on my stores. They did, Shopify did some changes, and I do have inventory in my Ginger store and more. So you could go over there and check it out. If it still doesn't show up, I'll find out what the problem is, okay, why it's not showing up. And I could probably try and get some help. I'd like to get that going and everything. And I'm working on my Ginger's Headliner store, which is a instant print store. In other words, you buy an item and you could print whatever you want to print on your designs. Okay. You know, I could put my Ginger Store and More design on there. I could put Ginger's Chat Show on there. You know, whatever to sell merchandise that way. So, I've been working on other things, how to bring in at least a little bit extra more money. And of course, as you know, the prices go up on everything. Well, really, what is the true price on gas? What is the true price on apartment rentals and everything else? To me, when they keep raising the prices, that's greed on their part, and that has to stop. That's another thing we need to protest about, is stop the greed. It's not going to get them anywhere. If somebody is self-made and worked hard and did it that, did whatever they're doing, and they provide philanthropic help, in other words, they help everybody, that's super, that's great, because they're providing a public service. But when you have people that are greedy, like some landlords are, they keep all the money to themselves and they don't do any improvements on their apartments, or they don't bother to bring the prices down, and they don't have the prices don't match the shape of the building, or what kind of structural shape the unit is in, then they're being selfish. So we need to push back at that. There are some cities now that are working on the homeless issue, and they do realize that landlords have been causing the housing crisis because of their greed. Because many of the people, when they live in an apartment for years and the rent keeps going up and keep almost going up every month or every 6 months or whatever, and they're priced out of their homes, or priced out of their apartments, and they make some money, but they don't make enough to make the apartment rent. Well, then something's wrong. And so now I think cities and states need to have rent control boards. They need to have a rent control board here in Washington State, just like New York does. And if the landlord cannot justify raising the rent, then they said, nope, you got to keep the price that or put a cap on the price. In other words, the state and the city need to put a cap on rent at, let's say, at $500 a month, and they can't raise it any higher. Okay? And they need to stop the greed. They really do. That's one of my other pet peeves. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I will see you guys on, let's see, hold on 1 minute. Let me check my calendar. I will see you guys on Friday at 1 o'clock. I will report on the GOP debate. We could discuss that. You know, what our perception is of the debate. If you choose to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. I don't blame you. I'm just curious to what the other guys say. So, yeah, you too, Dorothy. Love you guys. And I'll see you on Friday. Take care, okay? Stay safe. Storm season's not over yet. So, all right, talk to you later. Love you. Bye-bye.